Nobody knows.
You ready to roll? You said you're a guest speaker, so. Yeah. We're excited. Yeah. All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Avery County Fire Commission's regular meeting in August 9th, 2020. 2020. Shane, would you like to do the invocation?
Dear Lord, we just ask you that you be with us about Lord, we conduct the business for the fire department of this county, Lord. We just pray that you just guide us, Lord. We pray for each volunteer and each member we have, Lord, and just pray for their safety, Lord, as they respond, Lord. We just pray for our country, Lord, and for us going through, Lord, and just pray for peace, Lord, and for your presence around us, Lord. We just thank God in Jesus' name.
All right. Additions and deletions to the agenda.
Yes, we do have one.
Okay. Truck committee. Is everybody okay with the truck committee on that? I don't know that I need a motion to add to that. Everybody good with that? All right. Matt, how about we put you in with the truck survey? Is that okay? All right. And Jeff, we've got, you say, we had asked Frank about the financing.
Yes,
Is that,
so
and
Johnny wants on the agenda too.
Well-
Talk about the
finance
finance
on
of
it.
the fire.
Information y'all asked for.
Okay. Well, considering that potentially is hundreds of thousands of dollars, everybody okay with putting that on there? Or should we put that?
We can add that G.
All right, we normally do a sign-up sheet for public comments. I'm not sure how we're handling that now.
We've got public comments. We have one.
Okay, so you got your sign-up sheet there?
Yeah, he's already signed up and he's ready to go.
Okay, who is that?
It's me.
Okay, come on up.
Well, I'm And if the truck committee was just added to the agenda, I may be repeating myself, but does it have anything to do particularly with Linville before I was, okay, that's fine. All I was gonna request is that, since, we did not get on the agenda this month about our new truck, that we're trying to get the ins and outs worked out on. It appears that this is gonna be a monthly agenda item until the bid is accepted. And so I would just like to humbly request that the commission consider placing Linville as a standing agenda item until that truck is purchased, because it's going to need to be discussed each month until something's happened. And the reason we didn't get on the agenda for it this month is because the week where the association canceled by a week, we got our math off and I didn't get on the agenda in time. That's my fault. So I signed up a public comment just to simply ask that the commission not let that slide, because, you know, time is passing rapidly on getting that truck ordered, and things are only getting more expensive. And so we just wanted to make sure that we weren't lost in the shuffle with other business.
All right. Thank you
That's
very much.
all I had to say. So just, and since we missed getting on the agenda, I thought I'd get on there somehow.
Well, my feeling is that when we get to the truck survey part, that's going to be something.
Yes, but we would specifically like to request that you consider putting us continually on the agenda until purchase, or until a bid is accepted, because otherwise we're afraid it's gonna take another year of our time or something.
Well, I would say still call, let Jeff know before each meeting.
Yeah, it's just,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, Jeff, during public comment, and I want to welcome everybody who's watching us streaming as well. Thank you for doing that. Hopefully we can all come together here before too awful long. But people who are streaming, if they want to email or make a comment, you can send it in to the fire coordinator, and he can bring those up, those comments, however that needs to happen. Now, on agenda item, Elkhart Electric repair.
He didn't make it tonight. He ended up working late. Jeremy did. He called me.
Okay.
And, said that he wasn't gonna be able to make it. He just got home. So I have their information. It's the Avery County Electric bill. And
It's the estimate.
yeah, that's, but, they have a severe issue with the breaker panel down there. It was, wired for 3-phase, and it has been basically cobbled together. And when I say that, they have took bolts or some kind of joint connectors. Like Shane will know more about it because he's more of an electrician than I am. But they spliced two 3-phase wires together like this, and then electrical taped around it, and put a block of wood in the bottom of the box to keep it from arcing against the bottom of the box. Yeah. So,
Okay. So this isn't like separation from the floor deal or anything like that, right?
no, this
Okay.
is something they found not too long ago when they went and put that generator in that we bought from them a year ago. When Alan opened the box up, he said they couldn't do nothing with that because the buildings, they're lucky the building hadn't burnt down yet. So, because it had arced all the way through the wood that was keeping it from arcing in the middle, yeah.
So they can't connect the generator because it's,
Absolutely can't.
okay.
So, and as far as connecting the generator goes, Alan is the only one that would even come out and look at hooking up that 3-phase generator.
Mm-hmm.
We called probably 4 other people, and they wouldn't do it. So this is kind of a deal for the whole thing.
To get it back straight.
Yeah.
All right. Gentlemen, any comments or questions? What do we need? What's the amount that you need more than one bid? Over 10.
Yeah.
And, okay, and is this, would this be come out of a regular maintenance budget or fund balance?
This will probably come out of our new,
They're requesting this for.
yeah, for building repair, yeah.
Repair.
Because we've already got their fund balance down pretty hefty after this truck stuff.
Mhm.
And, I don't know exactly what it is right now, because we've got some others, but they've got a couple more things coming out of it. But their fund balance is around 20,000. I know,
Mhm.
so, but they're just asking for building repairs. Kind of it's almost an emergency situation, because the building it is arcing through that piece of wood, and it's burned up, the piece of wood's burnt, so.
The transfer is not fixing the electric.
Yeah.
You say this quote includes installed into the reimbursement last year. What did we set aside for y'all last year?
We didn't set aside
Oh, did
enough,
we?
but a little bit at a time. When Charlie got the generator,
Okay.
So we bought a generator, but
didn't set aside any money to install it. Yes.
Okay, Matt just said that we, in previous meetings, back when we wanted to get them a generator, we knew about this and that we would help them on that. Correct?
Install, yes, for sure, install.
We did?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
We told them, after we got the generator running, that following meeting, we told them that we would pay to have the generator installed.
Well, there you go. All right.
But this is just kind of an extra thing to add on to it, because we're gonna have to change out all kinds of stuff for this power issue.
Right. So we're fixing it.
Yeah.
It's not just about hooking up
Yeah.
generators, fixing whatever the deal is. Right, okay. Guys, any other comments or questions? Concerns? Well, I need a motion to approve this for Elk Park, 88,115.63 for Elk Park Volunteer Fire Department, Avery County Electric, to fix their power issues. Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None? All right, that passes. Jeff, you'll let them know?
I would, Jeremy's probably watching, so he knows.
Okay.
I will call him in the morning, and let him know.
All right, we, several months ago, we've made a few changes to accommodate like the assistant position and other things, and we wanted to get all new drafts of the personnel policy out to all the fire departments and all the chiefs and everybody. But there was some updating that needs to be done. Shane or Jeff, y'all want to talk about what we have here? Because we have the original copy, which is old, correct?
Yes.
And then the new, it says new draft. Is that just the old copy with it marked up?
No, this is, the new draft is actually, I'll let Brian speak more for that, but,
Okay,
it's pretty much the changes that's proposed, in the new draft and what to be added into the policy that wasn't in the existing policy, before.
explain that again.
So the new draft is the new, to be the new current version
Of what, it's the
of the
updated version.
suggestions of,
Okay,
for approval
of
of
this
changes, basically, yeah,
Okay.
of the policy.
all right,
Most of the stuff, there wasn't a whole lot of changes. I can kind of highlight some of the changes in it.
Some of the stuff, if it copied, even in a light sense, some of it would be highlighted. I tried to highlight it with a highlighter and copy it.
didn't take,
Yeah, but now it is a real rough draft. Before we were using the old policy to edit, it
Mhm.
was, the format that Charlie had used was different from a couple of the other formats we were using, and it didn't quite work good together. It was, so it's offset, there's pages and, there's page breaks in the middle of paragraphs and stuff, so it's kind of,
The first is pretty much the same until you get to section 5, the responsibility of fire department coordinator, which basically we just added in the new classification that we approved several months ago for a job description for the coordinator, the
Mhm.
assistant coordinator, was added into that also, and then firefighter also, so we would have all that as part of our policy.
Now, my copy here is, my new draft copy's got some Xed out and some marked out.
That's where it overcopied and done two different things. And
Okay.
our real copy will be neat and clean. It's just
Well, why,
trying to put together 4 different copies and make things go together. And
okay,
some of it was in email for our job descriptions and stuff. We got those in email.
mhm,
We had to migrate those into the Word document, and it didn't quite, it threw everything off a little bit and shuffled pages around.
okay.
But everything's in order.
Well, why don't you do, I would think we'd want to take a look at a clean, new copy with the changes noted on there. So that, so you know kind of what you're looking at, what the changes are going to be. Can you get that, maybe get that cleaned up with the changes noted on there? And at least for us 5, highlight what is in there.
Yeah.
And we probably, is that okay with everybody? I'm having a little trouble looking at what I'm looking at.
Let me just mention a couple things, so in case anybody else has any thoughts on a couple things, but one thing that we had discussed a few meetings ago was the, someone that was in training status,
Mhm.
where it was said as training had 2 years. To maintain all their certification stuff
Mhm.
in the new one. We suggested a year in that, so
Mhm.
it's something to think about there as one change, that we had with it. That's in that's in 2 different places.
My thought would be, and what I've seen when we make, in my past, when we've seen document changes like this, and personnel policy is pretty important. So if we have a clean copy, and if you maybe highlight where those changes are, those additions or deletions, you might could even have a separate page that lists where those are, like in what section. That way, when you hand it to us, we can go right straight to it, and we're not trying to read through the whole thing and figure out what's what. And maybe if you can go ahead and get that to us, because we want to go ahead and get this done and get everything out. You can go ahead and get that to us, and maybe get one. Do the chiefs need it? Chiefs don't need to look at this and sign off, right?
We go ahead and send it to the chiefs.
Yeah, if we can get a clean copy, and if you'll do that, we can kind of index the changes and highlight it, so everybody go right to it and feel comfortable about what we're doing and what we're going to pass. Get the chiefs to kind of get on board with all that, because I don't think there's any instrumental changes, it's just updating.
Yeah.
And then let's get a clean copy with that index, and everybody's okay with it, and then we can get it back.
Okay.
Is everybody good with that? Okay. Got it, Jeff?
Got it.
All right. But, this is always a lot. It's a good bit of work when you do this, so appreciate the time that's going into that. All right, truck survey. Now, the truck survey is what we ask for, is like an inventory of all the trucks. Right, Jeff?
Yep.
And so what we have here is, well, you got an inventory of each department
Yep.
and the years and the hours, and that's a lot of information. And,
Yeah, 2 pages.
right,
The one with the larger font that everybody can read is the year of the vehicle, from oldest to the newest, in the different sections, like, engines and then tankers and QRVs and
Mhm.
that kind of thing. So,
Now, this being, Now, so what we've got here is you've got the engines and the department and the replacement, they've got down the year of the truck and the replacement date, which is on a 20-year rotation.
Yep.
Correct? And you can quickly look and see we're 3 trucks behind. Well, if you include Frank truck this year, but, and is that, I hadn't heard anything about Fall Creek truck. Is that,
He's 22 years old, that's all.
well, where are we, has that one been considered for bid or?
We're next after next, so we're not funding you guys right now.
Next after next?
You gotta take care of Frank and Linville, and we're supposed to be kind of pitching in there.
So you're volunteering to knock down 2?
Not really, but these guys have already been on the docket, and these guys are just about ready, so you just got to actually make sense.
Mhm.
So what it was.
We're just behind.
Well, I mean, I think this is information important to have, that you got one up there that is a year older than Linville's and 5 years older than Frank's. So this is the information we need to be able to determine, number one, what trucks need to be on the rotation, and number two, you know, we're already 3 trucks behind. How much money do we have right now to spend on trucks?
In our, it's the debt reduction account is what it's labeled, but we have discovered that it's actually the money that has been put aside for the trucks we've not bought yet.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the money for 2 trucks for sure in that account.
Well, that's a relative term.
So
But
we've got,
How much money is there? in that
there's
account?
1.4 in the account. We have to keep 20% of our operating budget somewhere.
we're really, actually, we're behind ordering trucks, but we're not behind in the money, because Fall Creek should already, they'll be in there this fiscal year we just started.
Yes.
Okay,
So Fall Creek needs to go ahead and start, if they're the next ones, they need to start with their stuff.
so that $1.4 million, we can't spend all that on trucks.
No, because 20% of that is, 20% of our operating budget is in that account.
And debt reduction?
It's, they named the account back when they were doing a debt, when it was an actual debt reduction account,
Right,
which, you know, now we don't have any real
and that's truck debt.
Yes,
It's
we don't
truck.
have any debts other than, yeah, Frank Fire Department.
Stations. They paid off all the
Yeah.
stations.
Okay,
So,
all right.
the past 3 years, the best we can tell, past 3 years, and this is the bank books and everything I can find, Charlie has moved the 410,000 at the end of the fiscal year that we didn't spend on the trucks to the debt reduction account.
Okay,
So Sandy suggested we change the name of the account to to something dealing with trucks, so it doesn't just
okay,
have a
so,
general account.
so you take out, oh, that's 20%, not of that 1.4, but of the entire budget.
Of our operating budget for this year.
2.5.
It's what?
2.7. So 540,000 is going to be reserved in there. Roughly. End up with about 900,000.
All right, so we've got $900,000 for
2 trucks taken.
2 trucks. Well, so that's what? That's $500,000 for 2 trucks to get ordered. And that's gonna be Linville and Frank?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Lynn was the
Because,
first.
out of last year, that money got moved there.
okay.
Because of the-
So obviously, so we're dealing with Linville and we've got to get that process going and get it ordered, right? And then, and you're working on Frank's now, is that right? You're working on the specs and everything? Okay. So we're okay to say Linville and Frank, you've got $500,000. Go get you a truck via the process. Is that, and then we're up to then Fall Creek. And then Newland, but then you got a little bit of break, but then you got 3 years. You got Banner Elk, Limble, and Elk Park all on the same year. So that'll have to get spaced out just a little bit, but then you got another 3 years after that. So it's,
Then we also gotta look at, like in our QRVs, 'cause
well, now, aren't we gonna, we gotta have our engine separate from QRV, don't we?
Well, that's all about the same fund, that's what he's saying. When we set aside our money, that's for, just like last year it was a brush truck and engine last year. Because we got our park had a brush truck and engine.
just give me,
Equipment truck.
everything that is equipment truck.
Okay, now.
So probably what's going to happen, if when we see that's coming up, we're going to set aside more money, is what's going to happen.
All right, but
When we do a budget for vehicle replacement, we're going to have to, if there's you know, we may have to increase the.
okay, let me run down through this here real quick. Now, the tankers, now obviously all the trucks aren't the same. The tankers can go a little longer than the engines, is that correct? Now, the QRVs, it seems like we're not too far behind on. But the equipment trucks, you got an old one. But that's on a lower priority.
Well, I mean, it doesn't, put it this way, if it won't start or dies on the scene, nobody's gonna die from it.
Okay, I understand that, yeah. So what we're gonna deal with right now, let me see if I got this straight. What we're gonna deal with right now is Limble and Frank's truck with the money that we have for this year, the 1 point, or the
900.
900, how much was it? 900,000, so that's 450 a truck. So the immediate need with the money that we have is 2 trucks, 450,000. And we want to proceed with that. Does that sound right?
If all crazy, people have plus possible this year.
This year being.
The fiscal year we just started. July. That way we get, when they need to be, we need to get, the plan needs to be in the work early on, not at the last minute. So we're not putting that money aside. It needs to be purchased in that year. You need to be paying out that year.
So that will
Wait
be,
too long in the year.
so that will be this budget year that we have.
Correct.
You have okay, that we haven't received.
We haven't transferred that money to the capital fund yet.
Okay,
It's still in our capital equipment.
okay.
So this year we.
So Ball Creek needs to go ahead and get started.
They need to start working on their specs and the truck committee and getting all approval on that, and then
Because we're getting Limble, which is a couple of years out, and Franklin's a year out.
it will keep on further behind.
Right.
Earlier you can order them, clearly. You save a little money on the, on the increase that
Mhm.
typically occurs with vehicles of any type.
The process
Well-
should start July 1st. Whatever department
Well,
it is.
they almost should already have it in the works
Well, yeah, I mean, if they have to.
and have it ready to pull the trigger July-ish.
Okay.
And then 2040, you're gonna. So you're behind here.
Huh? I don't.
Go off your line.
All right. Well, so with this information, which I think is absolutely crucial. And y'all pipe in, I'm telling you, that the engines are, we gotta stay on top of those, right? And so we need to be looking to replace, at least one a year, and then maybe another truck a year.
So, let me throw out there, you can get more time out of a tanker. I mean, eventually it's gonna run out of time too.
Well, but then, so what we need to do going forward, now we'll try to get us what we can caught up right now.
I'm just saying, it's definitely something we'll have to be looked at.
Well, we need to then put all these together, what do you think, and come up with a schedule? Now,
I think,
Jeff, you and Brian did like a condition.
Yeah.
I mean, could you put a recommended replacement of
Each,
each year?
okay, so on this sheet right here, out beside it, there is a abbreviation for extreme rust on the 8202 truck. But that's the one that they're, Mark, there's one more that goes with that one. It's just a little old basic sheet.
on the back,
It's this one. Yep, that one. So it's got extreme rust on it. Brian done crawled around and looked at the frames and stuff while he was doing some of this stuff.
Okay.
And then the M is for the medium rust, and then when it moves to the tankers, we're just done with frame rust or no frame rust, So
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, moving forward, if y'all can have a recommended replacement year to year of all of them. Okay, because you'll have to say, okay, if we have a tanker every year, or an engine every year, then you gotta throw some tankers in there every now and then, plus the rest of them. All right, okay. So with that said, to take care of the need with the money at hand, I need a motion to allocate, $450,000.
it's done.
Oh, it's already done? So what are we doing?
Well,
Well, but the money just had to be set aside because it was in the previous budget, is all it's been done.
So what we have right now in that account, if we take out the,
Well, what we needed to know is let Linville and Frank know how much money they have for a truck.
so, we have, after we take out the 20%, we have to keep in there for the.
Right, I got that.
We have $840,700. That's $420,000 per truck is what was allocated at that time when they done the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we've been doing up until,
So it's 420.
yes.
Okay. So what we did this for is to let them know how much money they have for a truck. 420,000. So you can go get your bids and, is that,
Yeah.
okay,
I mean, well, that doesn't get us a bid accepted, but that's a number.
right,
It's, okay.
all right.
The other thing that we haven't looked for in this too is that these are spare vehicles that are at the stations that need to be, and I have that one here close, but our older QRVs that need to be. But replacement vehicles, we need to go ahead and make sure that they're
They're been
taken out
replaced.
of service. I mean, they've been replaced, but they need to go ahead and be taken out of service.
All right.
So,
Jeff, can you get us a recommendation on that for next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
we have, 3 QRVs? That need to be.
Well, when we replace them, we need to replace them. Okay. So no motion needed on that. We just got our survey. We're closer to our rotation schedule, for vehicle or trucks. And we have $420,000 going to Linville Frank for a new tanker.
So not 450, to be clear.
Well, I thought it was 5, but it's worked its way down to 420.
I want to leave before it drops anymore.
Based on what Jeff is saying on the numbers.
Okay.
All right. Now, under the same thing, Matt, what you got for us with the truck committee?
Truck committee meeting with, Frank,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as the truck committee approved their specs, and watch the commission put it out to bid.
Okay. We need a motion for that. We'll take one.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Frank Boyd to put their truck out for bid. All in favor? Aye. Is that it? Well, man, that's pretty good. Okay, next on the agenda, 360 software.
Okay, this is a software program that EMS has started using. It is a, kind of a timesheet style software for us, where we're doing paper timesheets now and having to, run everybody down, get timesheets, and it takes a whole day to just get timesheets in from everybody. This also allows you to put truck checks on the software. It's just a little app. The paid guys can put it on their phone if they want to. They can use it on the computer if they want to. You upload all your truck checks to it. It'll do a digital truck check, so they can take their phone and do the truck check that they need to do out in the bay, and print off a copy to put in the books, and they sign the copy. So it's actually, it's signed by the employee. Their time sheets can be signed digitally. They just sign their signature. They can send them to a supervisor if we need to, and then they can forward them on to for approval. It's more of a employee management software for us. It just makes it a little easier to do the comp time and all the stuff that we're actually doing right now. We're doing it by paper, and it takes forever. And
So if you can do your time sheet over the app.
Yeah.
And they'll send it to you, but it can get to the chief. Chief can sign it digitally without having to run it down. Is that
so the
right?
price you've got, okay? So the price you've got,
Which is
$1,200, okay?
total?
Yep.
Plus,
It's $1,200 a year. It's $4 per user per month. So we figured in for our employees plus a chief,
mhm,
okay? So that way, the chief has access to it also.
okay,
And the chief will be the supervisor, so they can sign off on the timesheets. And then they send them to me, and I'll sign off on
okay. How much is that total a month then?
them. Well, that's $1,200 total for 12 months. It's $100 a month.
Oh, that's not an initiation, that's not an upfront.
That's what it costs.
Oh, that is, okay. Oh, I see, 4 times 25, gotcha. So there's not an upfront, it's just a monthly?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's $1,200 a month.
If we pay for it for a year, it's $1,200 for the year. So,
Okay. Guys, any discussion on this or comments or information? Are y'all okay with it? You like it?
And I think it'd be beneficial. I mean, I think, because one thing the issue with is chiefs having to sign time sheets and stuff, and this would
That's the first thing
definitely
that came to my mind.
simplify things for that. It's all digital. And
this is all they have to do with parking. We can set this up where they have to literally be parking.
Ooh. Well, that'll be, okay.
And they can fill in like stations and stuff in the show cutter with like what station where, so if you don't have anything, you
Yeah,
can somebody,
It'll do scheduling.
somebody's off or something.
And they
show
have to,
that. vacant and they can fill a person in there.
Mhm.
And they also have to request time off, they can request time off through the app and have to approve it.
If the chief has something special for him, he can actually go in and anything how to do it and say, hey, I need you to do this today.
Mhm.
We need to do it the night before or something. It's
And you've tested this?
Yes,
And,
we've been playing with it for a month now.
okay, now, you polled all the chiefs on this and they're good with it?
I've talked to all of them, I think with Mark.
Don't fit me in here.
I haven't heard anything about this.
You wasn't there when we was talking about it?
This news to me,
Okay.
Well, they need to understand it before we do it, I think.
as Jeremy's fault.
It's it.
I'm sure it was my fault. What do you think about that?
Step outside of the.
Well, I for sure think the chief got to be on board, because their employees, or their supervisors, they're a part of it.
I can tell you that all crew is for it.
So do we need to wait another month to make sure everybody's good with it? Or is everybody good with it?
I mean, even chiefs don't want to do it, you can still print it off and they can still sign the time sheet that way. That's the issue.
They're old school.
I don't know any, I mean, that's good.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know any other, I mean, the employee can print it off.
So,
The chiefs committee will meet twice before next meeting, so they can really discuss it if you want.
what do you think they need to? It seems like they should.
I mean, if y'all think, I run a business, I do all this same shit with the text message, but if y'all feel inclined, then I support it. If it is the new, the cutting edge thing, way to do it, and it's about me.
It's the location thing.
Yeah.
My station two is just a little bit further back.
Right.
Your station.
It's a haul.
And you can't actively use the app unless you are, like Jake was saying, in this vicinity of my.
Yeah.
So it's an easy way for me to check. Don't get me wrong. I make a phone call, you make a phone, maybe not. It just, I think it's a motivator.
Right.
There you go. Yeah. All right, we got a motion on the floor to accept the, Brad Goodman Solutions 360 app for firemen. Do we have a motion? We got a second, all in favor? There we go. Let me make sure the chief knows that's one. All right, Beach Mountain funding. Bob, come on.
I'm not sure what I'm doing. Am I leaving this, Jake?
Well, we need a little,
Yeah. We got some.
let me start off, and Jeff will probably take it here some. Bob, you came before us a couple meetings ago, or last meeting? Last meeting with, concerns that his budget was severely cut. Well, at the time, my recollection that we didn't severely cut anybody. Well, and correct me if I'm wrong. Last year, they essentially cut your budget, was what it looked like. And then after the budget process, they allocated you another $20,000.
Correct.
Is that correct?
At the budget meeting that I came to.
Okay.
That was before the budget was approved. I came to the budget meeting of the commission. I kind of reported on this last time. We went through the line items and everything, and it was, the commission voted to increase the budget to 20, it was additional 20 from what we got, was 61 and change. And for some reason, Charlie told the commission he was gonna pay that out of a different account. And he did. The town got the money, we got the money. And I don't think, when I met with Jeff after last month's meeting, I don't think that was accounted for.
Well, it certainly it wasn't. What has happened is they got an additional 20 than what our budget showed they got last year. But it was it was through like a vote during a
Yeah.
meeting. But it wasn't shown when we were doing the budget. What we saw was that they got less than what they got. They got $20,000. And so that's what he's asking for, is his $20,000 back that he ended up getting last year. That if we do this year or do today or whenever, then he's got to make sure that goes back into what, so we know how much money we actually got for budget. Are we on pace there, Jeff and Bob?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what is before us is that there was an additional $20,000 given to them last year that we didn't know through the budget that we had given. And he's asking for that money that they got last year, this year. And,
It's actually $19,000. I don't want to ask for more than,
okay,
when I submitted the budget this year, we reduced it from last year. We took off the fire commission pays for the med flight for our members.
mhm,
And that was not budgeted last year for Beach Mountain, so I pulled that out and we reduced the budget request this year by $5,000.
mhm,
So the difference between the 37,440 is what you appropriated this year,
mhm.
and what we had asked for in our budget proposal is $19,145. It's a $19,000 difference.
Now, Jeff, but did it say that was done at a separate meeting in the
Yeah,
budget?
right. You got a copy of the budget, of the meeting minutes where they done that in your
Okay.
packet.
That would be the meeting where we met with all the chiefs and you were.
Well, this was,
That was last year.
This year, we had that same meeting, with all the chiefs, but you were not at that one.
okay,
It was the budget meeting where the fire commission invites the departments to come in.
okay,
And this was last year. And
Okay.
so what happened, it appears, is the numbers you were given this year to put your budget together didn't take into account that $20,000.
right,
It was added to the budget request last year.
mhm,
And so that's where that's when I came to you and said there was a 40% reduction.
right,
You all looked at me kind of crazy because the numbers you see didn't reflect that.
right,
The numbers I have and the actual dollars that were paid to us indicated a reduction of 40%.
mhm,
So I'm asking for $19,000 this year
as a part of your regular budget.
for the budget.
That's the situation that we had. So he's asking for that money. Any discussions or questions?
Whether we get our $2,000.
Yeah, Jeff, what would that come out of?
We got our capital projects, where we put in our,
Once,
or general fund.
You know, fund?
once all of our last month's bills are cleared and come through, once I get the bank statements and all that stuff.
From fiscal year
From our
end.
Fiscal year end,
Mhm,
I will have a better number, but we've still got, right at $1 million in our, budget right now. So,
For
last year,
what?
I don't know, but I've got 1.1.
Well, there's our.
Right.
Did let him leave?
No, I'm still here. I'm just-
We got to get a handle on that. Yeah, we got to get a handle on that.
And I've not moved any money out of our capital equipment budget because we've not got the bill for, Elk Park's truck yet, the brush truck.
Mhm,
We've got almost all of it, but just the bed itself paid for, we paid for half of it.
So the Frank truck, so
The
you're
Frank
telling me
truck
the
is
Frank
in,
truck
the
is
Frank truck is in our last year's budget. We've got, 549,000 right now in our capital equipment budget from our previous year.
All right, we gotta get a handle on that. All right,
That's a fire truck in this year's budget that we haven't spent
Yes,
or moved to the debt reduction.
we ain't bought any trucks out of this year's budget yet.
well, what I think we ought to do is not, we need to sit down and go through that from top to bottom and make sure we're right on that. Because if we got more money to allocate toward trucks, if we're kicking a truck out and keep it in the general fund, we need to
Still
meet or
got-
something on that.
We still got some of the grant items, some of the grant stuff that we, that rolls over even for the next 2 months. People
Okay.
getting us paying for the grants from last year. Because that doesn't fall on our budget. That falls on basically the previous budget.
All right, here's what I suggest. Y'all, with this weigh in, that yay or nay, that we need to come to terms on that, like really quick. Can we do like a, finance meeting, not a budget meeting, but a financial meeting for all of us to get that straight and investigate that and see where we are. Yeah, I mean, and
What we can, we can, what we can.
yeah, and Bob, what I would say, we gotta get all our ducks in a row.
Sure.
And then obviously, we didn't know what money we had, and it's here and there, so we gotta get all that straight. And then, can we entertain your request as soon as that happens?
Sure. You got the money.
Well, I guess, I think we do.
Apparently, we got more.
I don't think we do. Well, I can't imagine that we would, but,
I think it's allocated.
Yeah,
So-
it's allocated.
Yeah,
all right, we gotta get all that straight. What's where and what needs to be transferred and all that, okay?
Okay.
So, the item at hand is Beach Mountain's request for $19,000. And what I'd like to do, Bob, is, table that.
Sure.
Until we can see what we have. And, we'll have that meeting and see what we got where with the understanding of your situation. And then we'll address that then when we get this part straight.
Sure.
Which I'm sure it's not gonna be that hard, but it's not the time to do that. Now we gotta focus on that. So
Yeah, you gotta know where your money is.
well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal, but we just gotta understand all that. Okay?
Well, I tell you, I feel much better because, after meeting with Jeff, it became obvious where the mathematical error was.
Mhm.
And so, I thought my friends here were giving it to us, and that's not the case, because there was a mathematical error in your books that you presented to your commission that they looked at, didn't show that $20,000 increase that we were given last year.
Right.
So I feel much better about that, and I'm willing to wait.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. All right. All right, let's go ahead and, take Fall Creek Air Pack update. Chairman, what you got?
Good evening, gentlemen. So, last year on the budget, we do like we do every year, we put in for 2 Honeywell air packs with C.W. Williams. We turned in our request for the grant that was approved. Everything was going great until we got the letter from C.W. Williams saying that Honeywell is no longer updating any of their packs, and they would not honor our request to purchase. So we turned that letter into the state to save ourselves from losing our grant, because one item off the grant means you lose all your money completely. And they gave us an extension to figure out what we could do. We met with Honeywell reps, or not with Honeywell, we met with Interstellar reps, and we met with somebody else, whatever. And we tried out multiple different packs. My cheap, I could have started with, I like to spend my money, not your money. So we're talking about fund balance here. Now let me get back to it. What's gonna happen now is anyone who is using Honeywell packs will not be able to get them serviced. So as they service out, as they're no longer applicable, they're not, you can't get a new alternator. They're not being updated anymore. And so what you have right now is certified to use, but if it is no longer good, it has to be replaced. And my fire department voted unanimously to replace them with the Inspiro pack that CW Williams is supplying us with. We were able to get the state to grant us the funding to take care of that. So now I have all my trucks have Honeywell packs except for the 2 vacancies on my 22-year-old engine, which are being filled with the Inspiro packs. So right now I'm driving a truck that has driver's side Inspiro, passenger side Honeywell. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, when we have calls, and I send one of my guys to go get another model, he could go to the wrong side of the truck and bring me something. We could have delays, things of that nature. My request today is for 2 additional packs so I can dress one truck out completely. It'll help to cut some of my fund balance. We have pretty good money in our fund balance. We've been asked to spend some of that. I had meetings with my officers, and we decided that the best way for us to both use some of our fund balance and to make one truck completely at the ready, so that you're not bringing the wrong tank or the wrong pack to the wrong bottle and things of that nature. It's for us to dress out one truck completely right now and try to formulate in the future our grants to start making that changeover at truck at a time until we can phase out our Honeywell packs and bring in our Inspiro packs. I had about 17 different phone calls with my wife from CW Williams, who says that there are some other neat things. I say neat as in with the masks that we have in this particular application that you guys are looking at. There are some N95 inserts that you could use in a COVID situation where your mask to keep you as safe as an N95 mask can do that, especially with full face seal. I can't feel like this. That's gotta be better than just a standard COVID face. I've got 12,000 and some change, or almost 13,000 there. I'd like to ask for an extra 1,000 per unit and get a couple of the updates, or get a $15,000 request for Fall Creek to spend on 2 more air packs and a couple more of the safety or fundamentally accessible things that Inspiro offers that the other companies that we had come out and show us their packs did not.
Okay. Are these standard packs throughout the departments?
Better, I think, is the only one using the Inspiro.
Which is one of our mutual aid. We
Okay.
have a mutual aid agreement with Banner Oak, so our Inspiro packs would work.
Okay. So you're asking for 15,000?
Yeah, I'd like to get a couple of the.
Out of your fund balance, or your?
Out of my fund balance, I'm going to your money to both decrease the high end of my fund balance and give me the opportunity to.
Update your packs that will need to be done anyway.
Yeah, I'm forced to do that without, I didn't want to. We were stay with Honeywell for as long as they were out. They are the ones that are backing out. There's about 5 major SCBA companies now that sold.
Okay, we got his request for Fall Creek out of their own fund balance for $15,000 to get 2 packs. So there's the motion right there. Any more comments or questions or discussion?
It'd be real good if you guys wanted to pack it and bring it around fall.
And is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor? There you go, Mr. Jeremy.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. We'll start working on our truck right now.
All right. Okay, item G, Franklin. Chief, what What 1.5% good news do you have for us?
Yeah, that's it. We're 4.4, you know how much interest rate was that we're at, it's 4.4.
Mm-hmm.
We do over 16 more years. I talked with the bank and he gave me some different figures. I thought that, you know, you're gonna pay some money on it. I thought 70 was Jefferson, but anyhow, these figures, 70,000 extra paid on it. If we cut it to 15 years, we could drop our interest rate to 3.44.
3.44, if we refinance for 15 years?
Right. If we refinance for, and the payment would stay basically the same.
Okay, so we're knocking a year off.
Yeah. If we went to 12 years, we get interest 3.13, and the payment would go up to 108,000.
Right, say that one more time.
12 years is 3.13, and 108,700 payment per year.
So how much is that?
What's the payment then? 51,000 a year, you're saving what, 4 years?
But the big thing is a 10-year.
There we go, keep going, brother.
It's low that way. 10-year, interest would be 2.82,
There you go.
What you think?
125. That is taking 70,000 plus this year's payment and pay on it, because you don't have a payment due for a whole year.
Right.
So you take this
So
year's
that's
payment.
after the 198,000.
198,000 plus the whatever else you're gonna pay on it. It would drop our payment around 125 for 10 years at 2.82% fixed.
$566,000 then.
Yeah.
Gosh. That's partial.
No closing costs.
No closing costs?
They said be no closing costs if we stayed with them.
Okay.
How it means your lawyer fee to drop payment.
And because of the way it's set up, it's Frank that does it, they deal with the bank. So they're the ones that need to do that, but I guess we need to prove since we're paying the bill, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, because I was thinking it was like 6%, but
I was that's what I thought it was 50%.
I was kind of kidding myself, 1.5, but dang, 2.8.
Yeah.
Better. Gentlemen, any questions or comments? Do we need to do anything? Are we good with, what he's presented to us? And what option do we want to take?
I think that's a no-brainer. We get a 10-year.
10-year, 2.82%?
Yeah.
Is everybody, questions or comments? All right, need a motion.
Absolutely.
All in favor?
So how it rebound 10 years.
Yes.
We're paying $147 a day interest rate.
Well,
Well,
I am, I'm glad.
That's fancy green.
I'd refinance it.
yes,
You ever to go in with me?
He's retired.
right.
Well, thank you very much for doing that, because you just saved a lot of, money. We can get your building paid off. We can work on to get other things done that we need to get done. So, we just went from what, 16 to 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's not a whole lot. Well, you can go ahead and proceed.
Paying the 90.
Do we want to pay the whole 92 that we have in that account?
You know, since you'd only figured it at 70.
Well, hey, keep it,
That'd
keep it up
keep
for the
you
law.
penny for a cushion.
Yeah.
Was that not a part of what we need to probably have as a finance meeting on?
Yeah.
We got to wrap our brains around all of this. Okay. All right,
Go ahead, and
Chief, thank you, go ahead, it's been approved.
how much do you want me to say I'm paying?
Well, if you said 70,
The yearly payment plus 60, right?
That's what your numbers are based on, right?
okay,
I didn't know that, I was thinking 70 something, but, yeah.
that gets us to 10 years, right?
Right.
There you go.
Thank
Thank you. All right, Jeff, ISO update or your report. Go ahead and let us know what you got going on.
2 stations, we've got back information on 2 stations. For, ISO rating, that they done the whole thing. Elk Park maintains their, rating,
Okay,
and, then Frank dropped their rating 2 points. They went from a 7 to a 5.
oh, good.
So,
Yeah. Very good, very good.
I got so many numbers running through my brain right now, I don't know which way's up.
so these guys, they've been over backwards and they've
All right,
attempted to get to where they're at there. So, and then
congratulations to them.
the other thing I had was just the in-year kind of budget touch, and we've done talked about it. That's where that was going to come in. So
Okay,
I don't have nothing else other than that. You done know what my numbers are, and we're going to have a meeting on it.
Couple things now, Jeff, are we, in terms of hiring, we're full, right? We're good where we are?
No, we've got 1 open hole for sure right now. We only hired 2 from last time.
So who's been hired and who's worked the whole?
We hired, Joe Boyd from Newland, and we hired Casey Staten for Fall Creek.
Okay,
We've got a hole in, Elk Park, Fall Creek
Fall Creek
Road,
Road.
Yeah.
Okay,
for sure.
and we're actively looking to find that person?
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to consider that during, or we just need to get that person? We're -1.
Yeah.
Okay,
We figured for 15 people this year.
okay, all right.
Can, what do y'all think about on lines? So we've been having some issues trying to find his, putting out there as part-time and see if we have anybody interested that would be part-time.
I think you find, if you're qualified, you find who you can find.
Or just save you money on the insurance and all that
Just
stuff.
to maybe get us started, and get some
Absolutely.
time, and get some money.
Yeah. Yep, so as far as that goes, yeah, because, what's his name, that was at Baxter's, helped us part-time, right?
Yeah.
And he'll continue to help us part-time,
Talking
son?
about Chad?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's,
I mean, if you can get a handful of those guys,
yeah,
and,
we can call when we got somebody out.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay,
2 places or whatever.
all right, that sounds good.
All right.
Is that all you have?
Yep.
Okay, let's go ahead and approve the minutes of the June 11th meeting, 2020. Need a motion. Need a second. All in favor? Aye. All right, upcoming meetings. Well, I think we need to set one. Guys, this sounds fairly important because we've got trucks hinging on this here a little bit and all kinds of things. Would y'all agree that we need to call a special meeting? And we do that in 2 weeks in the middle, so then we're ready to move on it by next regular meeting.
On the 22nd of July.
23rd.
23rd,
23rd is Thursday.
okay? Are we all good with that date? Okay. Jeff, you'll have to get that advertised, and it'll be right here. And we'll need to get all of those. We need to work on between now and then, everything we need to know what's going on with this. And how, well, where we move, where it is, but how we move forward. Okay? All right, what was that? Did you say July 23rd?
23rd.
Yeah, 23rd.
Okay. So we're looking at a July 23rd special finance meeting date. All right. Next fire commission regular meeting will be August 13th, the regular meeting. Avery County Fire Association meeting will be determined at a later date. Are they changing their
Next Thursday.
next Thursday?
It
Okay.
was
Did they have it?
for,
Oh, they didn't have it?
they canceled it
Okay.
on the calendar.
Okay. All right, and, Jeff, we don't have anything for closed session, correct? All right, I need a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Thank you, gentlemen.
Are you sure?
No, you go
You know, there was guys.
Oh, are there?
All right.
Yeah, that's.
And that is gonna be as of March. Well, it was pretty money.